He is a young technical analyst with a key interest in crypto. He's also a blogger talking about what is happening in the world of crypto technical analysis and a popular investor on eToro. Please welcome Thomas Holland. What's up, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on. Excited to
No,
go over everything.
yeah, dude, there's a lot to talk about. I think the first thing we have to talk about right now is the mayhem, the panic, whatever you want to call it, that's happening in the crypto space right now. Like, what do you think is causing the recent crypto crash right now?
My view is that we're sort of seeing a new environment because Bitcoin and then the rest of crypto wasn't really founded until after the 2008 recession. So no one really knows how crypto is going to react to a new environment like this. So everyone's sort of seeing, will it hold up? What will happen? And then everyone's also nervous because it isn't really holding on the core technical indicators, a lot of the ones it's tended to find support on during bull runs. And so it's sort of new behavior. And then everyone's especially nervous because we're heading down to potentially lows where we could break the long-term pattern Bitcoin seen of trending up every bull market and never returning down to its previous highs of the last run. So around 19K. If we did go down there, then that would definitely cause people to get very nervous and stressed in the short term.
Yeah, I've been doom scrolling on Twitter for the last 24 hours, and it's like you see a bunch of charts, colorful charts, technical analysis, and I know that's what you focus on. So I want to ask you a couple questions about it. Like, do you think technical analysis is something that everyone can and should do? And like, are you like a Bollinger Bands guy? Are you like a Fibonacci guy? Like what's your move there? Just talk us through your approach to technical analysis.
Sure. So I do look at more advanced ones. A lot of the time, I tend to sort of like how you were saying, doom scrolling on Twitter. There are some great content creators on Twitter where they'll actually post their self-made indicators, their
Mm-hmm.
research, and what they use to support that information. They'll also, like you said, doom post, say it's the end of the world, and the next day
Yeah.
it bumps up. Bitcoin goes up 5K, and they say suddenly, we're going up to $1 million or something crazy. So you get a mix of that. I tend to, for myself, stick to more basic ones, and I think anyone can, where you've got like simple moving averages and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, where it's pretty straightforward. You can look it up and in 10 minutes get a grasp and just use it as one more thing to inform yourself. While I do use it to inform like my decisions, and I think anyone can, I don't think it's like the end all be all. I think it's maybe a good piece of information for the short term and medium term trends, but what really values at the end of the day is what value is the asset you're holding, is it going up? Is it down in the long term? And is it really worth investing in?
Yeah, that I think you said something very, very interesting there because I think a lot of people, like the very, very hardcore technical analysis people, are like just so into like all their indicators and everything like that. And my thinking has always been like people use technical analysis. You can make technical analysis fit whatever narrative you want to like fit, right? Because like you could draw lines wherever you want to draw them. I like more support and resistant lines, but there's so many, and I just like started looking into them. And I started getting a little overwhelmed, but I think I like your answer right there. Is like you got to be careful of what you look at. Pivoting it a little bit, NFTs. NFTs had a huge run up over the last 12 months essentially, and I hear you take a bit of a different approach when doing research to NFTs. You're looking at the blockchain that the NFTs are on. Why do you think that's more important than the actual NFT itself?
Yeah, it's an exciting space, especially since it's being used for such like simple stuff where we're mainly focusing on pictures and club entrance passes and that information rather
Mhm.
than the really important stuff, which we'll get to probably in the long term future, like house deeds and other crazy things that
Yeah.
everyone needs. But I think that it's important to consider what chain that you're actually investing in an NFT on, specifically because if let's say Ethereum, everyone thinks NFTs, they think Ethereum because Ethereum's the
Hmm.
largest chain. It got first to market, and that's where you're going to go if you just hear NFTs and you want to go make one. But it's also got the largest market cap. And with larger market caps, the higher it is, the harder it is to push it up percentage wise. So it's going to be a lot easier for some other chain like Cardano or Solana to push up 10% than it is for Ethereum to. And when people invest in NFTs, a lot of the time they don't actually look at the dollar amount in USD. They look at it in the actual currency on that chain. So, for example, if you talk to anyone who's selling or buying Ethereum NFTs, they're going to say, oh, it's 2 ETH, 20 ETH, 30 ETH. They're not going to say USD. So, if Cardano or Solano, let's say they go up 20x, you're going to see a much larger increase in the value of the asset you're holding on the chain, which hopefully will increase the gains you would see rather than just investing in a project and it going up. But we'll have to see because there's more risk as well because it could fall apart. I mean, any of these chains could lose out to Ethereum. Ethereum's still the dominant player, and we're not really seeing anything that could break it down the long term other than technical debt.
Yeah, and again, we don't have a crystal ball here. We're not predicting what's going to go up or what's going to go down. But you're absolutely right. Ethereum is the dominant one. It's the one that has the biggest blue chip projects. The Bored Ape project, and then the technical stuff you mentioned. Obviously, like last weekend, we had this whole blow up with the mint of the other side's the land that they were minting, and the whole blockchain just stopped working. And you're right, I've been seeing a lot of hype around Solana now. Again, not trying to give any technical or financial advice here, but you're right. I think it's very cool that you're looking at other chains as well, and not just the Ethereum chain. You discuss respecting rights to NFTs. Can you explain to me what that means?
Sure. So I think that's one problem we might have, maybe not now, but in the long term, the future. Because what happens if someone makes an NFT on a smaller, less acknowledged chain? You could say Cardano or Solana. But what if it's some other chain that no one's really using and it's sort of falling to the wayside and they made an NFT like 5 years ago or even a couple days ago, and then someone goes on Ethereum, the key market player for NFTs, and they make the same thing? Who's going to pay attention to which NFT, which one's going to sell and keep the value? So that'll be an exciting thing to see in the long term. And it'll be a sort of cross-chain dilemma where people are going to have to, within the crypto community, see what really matters. Are we only going to care about this one chain? Because at the end of the day, an NFT is just, a certificate of ownership at the end of the day. So will we respect that ownership on that chain?
I never even thought about that. Like, yeah, different. You're absolutely right, and I wonder how the NFT community is going to grow and tackle that problem. That's a very, very good point. I'm going to wrap up with this. So you're a young guy. I guess you've been doing investing in crypto, and now with the market kind of being a little bit, some fear in the market right now. What brought you into crypto in the first place? And now with everything going on, are you still interested in it, or do you plan on diversifying a little bit? Like where's your head at, and where do you see yourself, as far as an investor in the space moving forward?
So long term, I think crypto is great. I'm going to keep investing in it. I did sort of go all in with this previous run just because a bit of, I guess, the path of how I got introduced to crypto was, at first I heard about Litecoin. I was like, oh, it's going up so much. I put in some money. I was a little late. Unfortunately, by the time I got the money, I wanted to put it in when it was 150. It went, not this previous bull run, but the one before that, it went up to like 300. I got it in by 300, went up to 330, crashed down to the depths. And from there, and I sort of lost a bit of interest. I was doing research in college on cybersecurity, and crypto came up as a sort of research subtopic related to it. I was researching what we could use from there and apply to a research topic with a professor. And I kept researching it over time. I graduated and I sort of learned more and more about, I guess, the financial side, the halving effect, everything that follows from it, when the event of halving happens within Bitcoin and how everything tends to follow it. And I sort of was like, let me jump feet first in. In the long term, I am planning to diversify more because I think you really have to diversify across assets, but crypto is going to always stay one of the main parts of my portfolio, probably the main one, especially on eToro.
Love it, and that's great to hear. Well, this was an awesome interview, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Where can people find you? Keep track of you, see what you're thinking, see what you're up to.
Yeah, so on eToro, I'm a popular investor. People can go on there, and if they want to, they can either check out any of the documents I posted. I have like a 12-page document on all of my thought process and everything. If they want to see my more real-time and like small projects, my continuous learning sort of documentation, that's how I look at it. I have a Substack newsletter where I basically go over, as I'm learning, what am I learning? What projects am I investigating? What research am I finding? And my analysis as I'm like stumbling through crypto and learning more and more. So that's if you want my more, I guess, exciting takes.
I love it, man. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. I'll definitely check that out. I encourage everybody to check it out as well. Thank you for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Hope you have a great day.
Take it easy. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and be sure to tune in tomorrow.